Okay, so to make this project, I'm going to make the second panel. Again, I'm using this, it's 100% cotton yarn that I got as a gift. And it's 100% cotton, pure cotton. It comes from Italy. And I'm not even sure of the yardage. It just says GR50. I have no idea how much this is. But in order for me to make that first back panel, I used about 2 of these. So I guess that'll be 4 for the back, and then probably another 2 or 3 for the front. Anyways, that's the yarn. I'm going to try and figure out how much yardage I use so that you're aware of how much yarn you need. So it's cotton, and I believe it's 4. It says to use a 4 weight. It says to use it says on here 4 somewhere, right there. 4, right? Which I believe is, so I'm going to be, it says 4 fette, which means needle. And I believe that this is a, let me see. Yeah, it's a 4mm hook. So, okay, I'll be right back. I'll show you how I start this. Okay, so what we're going to do is make corner to corner stitch. So I'm going to try and show you. My nails look terrible. I haven't been to the manicure for a while because everything's closed. Anyways, to make the best of it. So you make a slip knot, and then you chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you make a chain of 6, and then you go into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you make a double crochet in there like that, and then you go into the next one, make another double crochet, and you go into the last stitch. Oops. Oh, let me see if I can get in there. And you make another. Oops. Let's try it again. Go into the last stitch or chain, foundation chain, and you make another. So that represents the chain 3 space and the 3 double crochets. So it's basically your first row. So this is always like where you're going to always increase from here, where you started. Let me see if I can show you that again. So right on that edge where you started, right? So you're going to do a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then yarn over and go into the 4th chain again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. And then you make your double crochet in there. And then again into the next one. Make another double crochet. And then in the next one. And you make another double crochet. Okay, so now you've done your 2. You go back into this chain 3 space here, and you make a slip stitch, and then you chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and you make another 3 double crochets in that chain space. So it's 1, 2, and 3. So here the corner to corner stitch is starting. So now, so it looks like a little L shape. This is always your increase side, where you started. See where your yarn of where you began the pattern. So next, so now we have to increase because we're going to make another row. So you're going to always do 6 when you're increasing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, and then you're going to make your 3 double crochets again in the starting at the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into the 4th chain. Make a single or double crochet. 1. Go into the next one. Make another double crochet. Go into the last one. And make your 3rd double crochet. Okay, so now once you do that increase or that one block, you're going to flip this like that. So these things, these little points are always facing up when you're starting a new row once you do that increase. And then all you simply have to do is you go into that 3rd chain where the 3 chain space is, and you make a slip stitch. Okay, and then you start the pattern again. So 1, 2, oops, 1, 2, 3. So there you do your chain 3. Let me grab some more yarn. And then you're going to make your 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go into the next where the last chain 3 space is again. You're going to slip stitch again and make another block. So you slip stitch, make another block. 1, 2, 3 chains, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets again to complete another block. All right, so there we go. See how it's growing? You got like these little steps or edges. So that's one row, that's the first row, that's the second row, that's the third row. So now we're going to increase again, and we're on this side again where this little tail is hanging, where we began doing the stitches. Let me grab some yarn. So what do we do now? 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yarn over, go into the 4th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a double crochet in the 4th chain again. Then go into the one beside, make another double crochet like so, and then in the last one, oop, can't see what I'm doing. Go into that last chain and make your 3rd double crochet. So you've got the chain 3 and the 3 double crochets. So what do we do now? We flip it. You flip it, you go into that 3rd chain. So you get those 3 double crochets here and the chain 3, and you're going to make a slip stitch. If I can flip this over and show you. Let's see if I can see. No. So you put your needle in, your hook in, there. So that's how you start the next row. So 1, 2, 3. Make 3. Oops. It's hard to see and do this at the same time. Make 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3, like so. So you're making the little steps of the ladder. Looks like a ladder. And then you go into the next one. You grab a little bit more yarn. Go into the next one. Slip stitch. Chain 3. And then you make your 3 double crochets in that chain space. 2, 3, and then now we're back to the edge part again. See where we started? So we're going to make one more block there before we do the increase again. So let's do that. So you slip stitch and then make a chain of 3 and then 3 double crochets in that space, like so. See, there's the little steps. So now we're at row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you know you count the steps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're at that increase edge again. So whenever you're at this increase edge, always remember when you're increasing and you're at the increase edge, you start with a chain of 6. So I'll do one more. And then, so ultimately we have to make 18 of these. And then we're going to start changing the shape of the, this pattern into, because if it continue like this, it just keeps growing the same way on the bottom as it does on the side. So we have to start by making, we're going to do a rectangle eventually, a rectangle shape. So, yeah, so let me just do one more quickly. I'll do an increase. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing. Hopefully it makes sense. I love doing this stitch. It's so pretty and I love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Always chain 6. Oops. Always chain 6 when you're making your increase block. Because we're building this way and we're building this way. So again, you go into the 4th chain, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you make your 3 double crochets in each of those chains. So in the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain, you're going to make double crochets. So that was the 4th. This is the 5th. And this is the 6th. Like so. What do we do now to continue? Make sure, see the points are all on the bottom. You flip it and make them go towards the top. And then you make your slip stitch in that chain 3 space. And you start making your blocks again. So chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So that's, yeah, and then you do the same thing in there. Do the same thing in there. Do the same thing in there. Make another block and then an increase. So let's keep doing this until we reach 18. You're going to have 18 of these blocks, 18 of these points. So 1, 2, 3. So now when we finish this row, we're going to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? So we got to go all the way till we get to 18. And I'll meet you back when we reach 18. All right. So I finished my 18 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And this is the usually where we go to increase. So that's where the beginning is here, where that little tail is. All right, so as I was saying, I dropped my yarn, so I have to shut everything off and come back. So I've got to my 18th stitch, and this is where we normally would increase. So we would make another 6 stitches and make another block, but now we've reached the 18, so we have to start to decrease on one side. So what we need to do is simply make a stitch, make a chain, and flip your work. And now you just do a slip stitch in each of the double crochets that you just made. So 1, 2, if I can see here, 3, and then in the chain 3 space as well, make a slip stitch so that you are now in that right position there, and then you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then make another block on top of that block. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, and then you go into the next block and you continue building blocks. But you see now you've got these 2 blocks here. This is the decrease side, and then when we get to the other side over here, we're going to continue to increase, and this is eventually, by doing this, it's going to create a rectangle. So what you need to do is just as a reminder, because it can confuse you, I know it confuses me, is put a stitch marker here so that you do not lose track of which side is the decrease side. Okay, so we did the slip stitch in the next space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you just continue building blocks on top till you get to the other side where we're going to start increasing on the other side. One more. Like that, you see? Go to the next one, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and then make 3 double crochets in that space. Like so. And then again a slip stitch in the next one. Chain 3. And just carry on, and I will meet you back once we get here. Alright, so I reached the other end. So now we have to make an increase on this side. Because what we're doing is we're making it, we're turning this into a rectangle. I don't want it to fall on the end again like it did last time. So this side is going to stay this wide, but this side is going to get longer and longer and longer, so we make a rectangle. So what we do to do the increase is you make 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like we've done before. And then in the 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, you make your double crochet in the 4th, in the 5th, and in the 6th chain. Like so. Just carry on the way we've been doing. So then again you flip it, right? And then you secure it like so on the top of that chain 3 space, and then chain 3, I think that was 3, and then you make your 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So we're going to keep going because I'm going to run out of yarn here. Just going to keep going all the way to this side, and then we're going to decrease on this side and go back to this side, increase. But I'll come back and I'll show you again how I decrease here. And stay tuned. I will be back with the next step. All right, so I'm back up to the row, the decrease part of the, I've made the last block. And then once you make your last block and you see that it kind of meets with the other one, well, that's where we're going to decrease, right? And you see your safety pin is there. So what you do is you slip stitch to attach it, and you chain 1, turn your work, and then you are going to again slip stitch in these 3 double crochets that you just made in that previous block that you just made. 2, 3, and then go into the chain space, and then continue 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So you see how it's becoming wider? Like, you're not increasing, you're just continuing to build this up. If you can see it. So you're not going straight and making it wider and wider. Now you're just making it taller. So we're going to keep going up. Keep building on top of those blocks. When you get to this block, you're going to make an increase. So you do 6 chains, and then you go and you make the 3 double crochets, and then you come back, go through here, and then when you get through here to here again, you're going to do exactly what I just did, and then you're going to decrease. That's where your safety pin is. So we're going to do this until our project is 39 rows high. And once it reaches 39, then I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm just about done my second panel here. And so I said 39, but I believe it's so you're going up, it's 38 rows you're going to end up doing, not 39. So when you go to do the decrease side, where your safety pin is, there should be 22 rows here. Okay, so 22 rows of the decrease side, and then so 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I put a stitch marker there, I'll explain it in a minute. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. So normally you would attach here and then make another block, but we're not going to do that because the other panel that I made only had 38. I don't know why, I kept thinking it was 39, but it's not, it's 38. So you do your 38, you get to your decrease side, you decrease it till you get 22. Hopefully this makes sense. So you do 38, and then if you're going back up as if you were going to do your 39th block, but instead of making another block, we're just going to, I can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. You're just going to make a slip stitch here to attach them like that. Okay, and then chain 1, flip your work over, and we're going to start decreasing. This yarn is all over the place. Oh, there it goes, it fell on the floor. Hopefully I can still work with it. Okay, so now what we do is we're going to start decreasing on this side. So how we do that is you slip stitch into that first double crochet you made in the previous block. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3. It's just hard to see. Oops. Oops. 3. Okay, I'll get it in a second. Just be patient with me. Oop. 3, and then in the chain 3 space. 4. Oh dear. Having some technical difficulties. Okay, so we slip stitched and then we slip stitched all the way across. So now we're gonna 1, 2, 3 chains, and you do your 3 double crochets in that space. 3. See, so you're starting to, now we're starting to decrease. Because what I want to do, I'll show you the other panel, the completed panel. So what I hope to do here is, because we're trying to make it so that it's like got a V opening in the back. So originally I was going to just make these rectangles and then sew it up. But I thought, why don't I thought this was so pretty, the blocks. So I thought, why don't I just leave that as part of the opening and then decrease to make a little rectangular shape here, and then this is going to be part of going over the shoulder, and then we're going to make another panel on the front. So what we're going to do then is we're going to decrease, and I counted starting from where the stitches, let me flip it over, where the stitches stagger, where they start to stagger. So this was like your 22 rows here, right? Where we were doing the original decrease on the bottom. And then where they start to stagger is right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So on the 8, let me see if that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to decrease. Hold on, let me get the other panel. Because I still have that stitch marker on there. So that was the 1, 2, 3, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I counted from, not from the staggering. Sorry. I'm confusing you. And I'm confusing myself. So if you count, sorry. So count from here, from the very, where we were decreasing originally. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to decrease all the way to here. And that's what's going to give us this. So we've got a bit of a rectangular shape, but then we have this opening. So instead of sewing it, it's just going to remain like this. Because originally I wanted to make 2 rectangles and then sew them up to create that V look. But I thought this already has that V look, so why don't we just leave it in there? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to just keep decreasing here until we've reached this stitch marker, which was, I put it on the 9th block. And then, so what we do, so what are we doing here? Okay, oh, this is upside down. Let's try this again. So we've done that last like that original decrease, and then we did chain 3, 3 double crochets, and then you go into the next one. So I'll just demonstrate how I do it. So chain 3, and then 3 double crochets, right? Keep going, and then just meet me back when you get to the stitch marker, and then I'll show you what to do from there. All right, so I am at that point where that stitch marker is now. So you just do a slip stitch in there, chain 1, turn your work, and then you are going to make the slip stitches across, because now we're decreasing on both sides, right? So slip stitch 1 in that previous block that you made, 2, slip stitch 3 into the chain 3 space. See how now it's starting to work up, and it's going to end up meeting here, and that's what's going to make that rectangular shape. So then you make a chain 3 and go into that chain 3 space and make 3 double crochets along there, like so. Go into the next one, do the same thing, chain 3, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then go all the way to till you reach here, and then I'll meet you back and I'll show you how to decrease again one more time. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm at the top again. You see where the two want to meet, the 2 blocks? So you slip stitch. We're going to decrease again. Slip stitch, chain 1, flip your work over, and then you know what to do. You go into those 3 double crochets of the previous round and do slip stitches. So 1, 2, 3, then go into the chain 3 space and do a slip stitch there. See how it's starting to form the rectangular shape? So again, chain 3, make 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to continue doing that all the way down till you get to the stitch mark. Well, before you get to the stitch marker, you're going to get to here, right? You're going to make a block here, then you're going to attach it like we just did to this one, chain 1, slip stitch, and then keep going and keep repeating that until this looks like this. I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. So I finished the second panel, which was this one. This was my original panel. And see, I'm making this pattern up as I go. I had this idea in my head, so I've never done it before. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying it on as I go. So what I did was I just did like a rough stitch to put the 2 panels together, just to get an idea of how it's fitting me, right? So when I put these on, like I put it on my back, and then it goes slightly like, if I can show you, like it's not going to be my whole back. It's going to take up part of my front as well. So if I can show you. So the front panel, it can't be this wide because it's going to be humongous on me if I do that. So I've done this just to get an idea of how it's going to fit me. And I think I need to make my front panel 45 centimeters. I measured this. This was about 75, I think. I can't remember. Let me grab my tape measure. So, let's see. I think it's about, no, 65. 65 centimeters wide. Can't even see it. So, yeah. So the front now, I'm going to start the front panel and I'm going to make it about 45 centimeters wide, but the same height. So I'll be back to show you that. Okay, I'm back. So I'm working on the single front panel. Here it is, and I've done 32 rows across. So now we have to stop increasing. So this is the side that we usually increase on. There's that tail. But we're not going to increase now. We are going to decrease on this side, but we're going to increase on the opposite side in order to get a rectangular shape. So I will quickly go over that with you. So I've made the last block. So normally to increase you would make 6 chains, but in this case we're going to decrease. So we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and then we do the slip stitch in each of those double crochets across. That's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 in that chain 3 space, and then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3, make 2 double crochets, or sorry, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. See, so now it's starting to form that edge, the decreased edge, and then again when we go into the chain 3 space we are going to do a slip stitch, 3 double crochets, the next one slip stitch, 3 double crochets all the way down, and I'll meet you back when we get to the end here. Okay, so what I forgot to mention was when we do the decrease, it's not a bad idea just to put a safety pin in that end. We're not going to do a lot of rows, but just so you know, you remember, this is the end that you always will be decreasing. So I've gone ahead and I've worked a block all the way up. So when you get to the end, I made the last block, and now on this side we are going to increase. So this side we're going to increase, this side we're going to decrease. So it's going to keep making blocks, and this is going to keep going up higher. We're only going to do about 6 rows, and then we should have the size that we need for the front panel. So I'll just quickly go over and show you how to do that. So you make 6 chains, 4, 5, and 6, and then again you yarn over and you make 3 single crochets, doing 1 in the 4th chain, 5th chain, and 6th chain from the hook. So that's 2, 3, and 4. So 1 double crochet in the 4th chain, 1 double crochet in the 5th chain, and 1 double crochet in the 6th chain from the hook, just like that. Okay, so all the points are facing down, and then you flip this. right? And then you slip stitch into the row, or not the row, the block. This is on the left of the one you just made. Make 3 chains and then 3 double crochets in the chain space. 1, 2, and 3, and continue doing this. Same thing. Slip stitch 3 double crochets, slip stitch 3 double crochets, slip stitch 3 double crochets, all the way till you get to the other side. And this is the decrease side, and I will meet you back once I get to the decrease side, and I'll show you one more time how to decrease. Okay, so I have reached the other side, and this is the decrease side. So when we get to the decrease side, we know it's the decrease side because the safety pin is there. Plus you see that the blocks are all beside each other and it's forming like a block, another edge. So we attach it here by making a slip stitch. We chain 1, turn, and then we slip stitch into each of these double crochets from the block you just made, and decrease, or not decrease, slip stitch in the chain 3 space, so that now your hook is back in position. These are all put into, these blocks are all locked together, and then we make a chain 3 and do 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we're starting to build that ladder again. Well, here we're going to attach it here. Let me just attach it here to the next one. See, it's all blocked. And we just continue. Chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. Slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all the way up again to the opposite side. And then I measured this side against the 2 back panels, and it looks like I think I only have to do 1 more on this side, and then we're going to start decreasing on both sides, so this side and the other side, in order to create and finish the rectangular shape. So I will meet you back when I get to this point. Alrighty, so I'm coming back to the end of the row, and I'm at the part where we have to make the decrease again. So let me just do that on camera so you can see. So again, you just make a slip stitch, chain 1, turn, and then we're going to go back in the other direction. But before we do that, we need to make slip stitches in the 3 double crochets. 1, 2, that was the second one, and 1 more. You can see it here. 1 more, and then in that chain 3 space. Okay, and then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So that was the decrease. And then we go, and then we make another 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going back in the other direction. So I ended up making 38 rows going all the way up to here. So before we were just always increasing at the top here, at the end of the row that was not. This was the decrease row, this was the increase row. But now we've made as much rows as we need, which was 38. All of these were 38. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go, oh, I didn't even finish this. There we go. Okay. And now we have to go to each of these, go into that chain 3 space, do a slip stitch, chain 3, or do a slip stitch, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets, do a slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets, make blocks all the way up, all the way along. And then when we get here, we have to do we have to start decreasing so that this is all going to become one big rectangle. So I'm just going to carry on here, going through and making blocks in each of these. And I will meet you back when I reach this part, and I'll show you how to start decreasing. And then what we need to do is just decrease on each end. So we're going to decrease here, then we're going to go down here, we're going to decrease the way I just did, and then back up, back and forth until it becomes a large rectangle. So I will meet you back here, and then once I come back here, I'll show you how to do the decrease. And then from then on, we're just going to remember to decrease on each end, and that should be the end of our project. So I'll meet you back. All right, I'm back at the other end now, and this is the side that we were normally increasing, but now we're going to start to decrease. So I just wanted to show you the last, so I've done the last block in that space. So I'm going to go in this chain 3 space at the top here and do a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we were going to make 6 chains and make another block, and then flip it over and go back down. But now we're going to start to decrease. So we're going to decrease on each end. I'm just going to show you how to decrease on this end. So you chain 1, turn, and then you do a slip stitch in each of these double crochets. Hang on, let me see if I'm in the right spot here. Let's make sure. So slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, slip stitch 3. Hope I was in camera. So you slip stitch in those 3 double crochets from the previous block, from the block you just created, and then slip stitch in the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3 chains and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So you see how now it's starting to form that edge. So we're just going to keep doing this. This is all the yarn I have left, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I have enough to finish this project, but I'm pretty sure I do. Because that's it. I don't have any more of that yarn. It came from Italy. They don't make it anymore. So we're just going to keep going up. I'll just quickly show you. Go into the next block. Slip stitch in the chain 3 space, 3 double crochets. Go into the next block, slip stitch in the next in that chain 3 space, and double crochet, and keep doing that to all these blocks. When we get here, we're going to decrease the way we just did. Then we're going to keep going. Then we're going to come back here, and we're going to decrease, and we're going to keep decreasing until all these blocks are all joined together, and we have a large rectangle for the front of this top. So I will meet you back when I'm at that point. So keep going, keep decreasing on each end, and I'll meet you back. Alrighty, I am back And look what happened. I ran out of yarn. I totally ran out of this yarn. And there's no way I can get any more because this comes from Italy and it was gifted to me years and years ago. It's actually, I think it was made in the 70s. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? So I have this yarn. That's ice yarn. But I didn't like the way the colors went. It's just, I didn't like it. I thought, and this is a thinner yarn. So I thought, no, not going to try that. I did do some and I didn't like it. Then I had this one. This was another yarn. It's exactly like this one. But I really did not like the two colors together. I thought it was, no. So then I found this yarn. And thank God I had a couple of little things left. So this one is a 24/7 cotton. It's made by Lion Brand. There's the label. And it is taupe is the color. And it is a medium 4, like this one, like the pink. And it calls for a 4mm hook, I believe. Where did I see it? Yeah, 4mm, a G hook, 4mm hook. So, and then I thought the two colors together would be nice. So how do you wash this? This is machine washable and dryable. So, and it's 186 yards. So 186 yards, I did probably like, I'd say maybe a quarter of it. Yeah. So I'm coming down to the very end. So I had one full ball of this, and then this was a ball that I had that I'd already started. Focus, please. And this is how much yarn I have left. So I don't have even enough to finish with that original ball, but thank God I have this little ball. So I'm just going to come and show you, come to the end of this tutorial and show you how I end it. So I need to make a slip stitch. Okay, so what I did was I put my hook through the chain 3 space, and then I couldn't figure out how to do it before. And then I just put the new yarn over my hook, and I'm just going to pull it through like so. Hopefully I can show you on camera. There we go. Here is the old yarn. Here's the new yarn. And then make a chain 3. 1, sorry, 2, 3. I don't even think any of that was on camera. Sorry. And then make a chain, not a chain, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space like we've been doing. 1, 2, 3. All right, let me get more yarn. We're at the last block. So what do we do when we get to the last block? We do a slip stitch. Okay, so there's still a couple of blocks that we have to finish. So let me just get back to this part. So what we do is we flip it, flip our work, and then I haven't been doing a chain 1 because I've been trying to save yarn. So all I've been doing is just going into those 3 double crochets of the previous block that you just made and slip stitch in the top of each of those. And then slip stitch in the, oh, I didn't even think I did that correctly. Let me just put one in here. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And then we do one in that chain 3 space, and then we do 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. So let me just finish these couple of little blocks that I have left here, and I'll come back right before I finish this garment. So I'll be right back. Let me just do one more double crochet in here. Like that. And then we're going to do again, go in here, slip stitch 3 double crochets, go in here, slip stitch 3 double crochets, go in here, slip stitch 3 double crochets, but I will meet you back. All right, I'm almost done. So I made the last block, and then I did a slip stitch to attach it to the one block beside. Then I turn my work around, and now I have to do slip stitches in order to get my hook here. So we're almost there. We just have, I think, one more to do and we're done. So slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, slip stitch 3, and then slip stitch in the chain 3 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space, so that's 1, and 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets. All right, all we have to do now, grab a little bit more yarn. This is the very last block, and all we do here is we find that chain 3 space at the end here, and we slip stitch. And we are done. That front panel. And you know what? I really like this 2 color combination. It looks really, really nice. And this little piece, I think it looks great. So now all we have to do is put everything together. The 2 panels in the back. So there's 3 panels altogether. There's 2 panels in the back. And this is the front panel. I'm going to sew those all up together. And I'll be back to show you what everything looks like. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, I would encourage you to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if there's anything you want to comment on. There's no way I could have gotten any more of this yarn, especially in this pandemic. It's taking forever to get anything from Amazon, from yarn places, and then to try and find a yarn that's close to it. So I think with what I had in my stash, this looks really, really nice. I love the color combination. So I'm going to just put it all together and I'll show you what it looks like. I probably have done that already at the beginning of the video. I might show you some more pictures at the end. But anyways, if you're new here, I encourage you to subscribe if you like this content. And leave me a comment if you like. And I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. And I hope that you try this. It's beautiful. I love this stitch, the corner to corner stitch. So you can do a lot of things. You don't have to just make blankets with corner to corner. There's a lot of things you can do with it. So I hope you liked it. And thank you so much for being here. And everyone take care. Thanks for joining me again for all my returning subscribers. And thank you. And take care. And we'll see you soon. Bye.